G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another episode of Wasteland Survival. So this is episode 52, which means we have been building this base for a full year now. I appreciate your guys' patience with me building this base over that time, although to be fair, there's probably many more than 52 hours worth of work in this base overall. But yeah, it takes a long time to record these things and then do all the editing, and I dare say if I was to do this without having to do the whole YouTube thing, I'd be able to do it much faster. But anyway, so at the end of last week's episode, when I was editing, I realized there were a couple of mistakes that I made while actually refining the elevator. So the first one was that I kind of neglected to remember that between the ground floor and the first floor there's a different amount of pistons to than obviously the second group. So in the first group of pistons to get us from the ground floor to the first floor, there's obviously 4 pistons, and to get us from the first floor to the second floor there is obviously 6 pistons. So obviously if I was to set all of the pistons at the exact same speed, then the group of 6 pistons will end up going a lot faster than the group of 4 pistons, because they're going 6 meters per second overall rather than 4 meters per second overall. So that was one mistake I made. The second mistake I made was instead of sitting here with a stopwatch and trying to figure out how much time it takes to get from one floor to the other, I could have just mathematically worked it out. So I went ahead and I did that, and I fine-tuned the timer blocks a little bit, and I've got that working a lot nicer. So the other thing is as well with so what I've had to do here, and I'll try and demonstrate this. So obviously piston number 1 belongs to the group of 6 pistons. So what I've had to do is find out what the overall speed is of 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then divide that across the 6 pistons in the second group. Now the only issue with that, another issue that kind of arises when I do that, is that if you guys remember the 10th piston, this piston only traverses 5 meters. So if I set the speed of this piston to be the same as the other 6 or the other 5, then this one will complete its full traversal before the other ones do. So you'll get another change in speed again. So what I had to do is kind of sit there and trial and error it out, and basically what I worked out, so if I didn't have that piston going half distance, then all 6 of these pistons would need to go 0.81 meters per second to go the same speed as the group of 4 pistons for the first floor. But what I ended up doing was just a bit of trial and error, and basically what I figured out is that 5 of these pistons are set to 0.88, and then the final piston that only traverses 5 meters, or half the traversal of the other pistons, I've set that one to 0.45, and overall those 6 pistons are now exactly the same speed overall as 5, 6, 7 and 8. So they all travel at about 4.85 meters per second collectively. So yeah, the elevator is much smoother now than it was before. Another issue that kind of arose, and I do apologize for the massive amount of explaining, but I feel like I need to explain all of this stuff for you guys, and hopefully it's not too boring and you actually understand what I'm saying. So if you remember in one of the previous episodes, I can't remember which one it was, I'd actually set the speed of, like, let's say 5, 6, 7 and 8. I actually set them at different speeds so that when we get to a floor, it's like a nice gradual transition and the elevator doesn't jump around a lot. The only problem with that is I found that it was causing a bit of issues when we were going from the ground floor all the way up to the second floor, and there was a bit of a pause there. So yeah, I ended up reducing the amount of staggering to only 1 piston. So now between the 2 groups there's only 1 piston that kind of stops or goes faster than the other one. So let's see what happens now. So if I press the second floor, then you can see the speed of the elevator is pretty nice. And then we get to this floor, and there's a little bit of a speed increase there, but it's not terrible. And then it's kind of pausing around here, and this kind of brings me to yet another issue that I've found with this whole elevator. So I found that, you know, this thing is grinding up against this wall. I don't know if it's these blocks here or if it's these windows. I think it's these windows, because if I go around to this side, no, I think, yeah. So you can see the windows are like ever so slightly poking out past the blocks. So I think that is what is actually grinding against that wall. And it's causing like inconsistencies with the elevator sometimes. So sometimes it'll be fine, and then other times it kind of won't traverse very well. And because I want this thing to be as perfect as it possibly can be, wow, there's a lot of reavers out there. Because I want it to be as perfect as it possibly can be, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace this entire wall with blast door blocks. Because if I have a look at a blast door block, I'll kind of demonstrate this. If I spin it sideways, you can kind of see that there is a much better gap there. So what it will mean though is that the gap here will kind of increase. But I think the gap will still kind of be small enough where it's not going to trip up my character. And hopefully I have enough steel plates on me where I can kind of demonstrate this. In fact, let's withdraw a couple of steel plates here, and let's just test my theory out, because I'm not entirely sure about that. So we'll go up here, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of place one of these blocks down here, and we'll kind of test this theory out. So I'll place one there like that. We'll quickly weld that up. And then, yeah, so there is a little bit of a gap there where these doors are going to be. But I think it's going to be much better for the elevator to do it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. And yeah, so I'll be back once that is done. And then after that, we can finally get around to building the hallway on the third floor. Or maybe I can go back downstairs and build the shooting range. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, guys, I'll see you in a second once this is all done. Alright guys, welcome back. So as you can see, I have gone ahead and I've replaced all the blocks in between the floors with some blast door blocks. And it is a tiny touch better, but it's still kind of grinding on this side here. So realistically, what I would need to do is go ahead and replace all of these blocks here. But you know what? I'm kind of, yeah, I'm a little bit tired of messing around with this thing and trying to get it perfect. I don't think it ever will be perfect unless I'm using a script to do it. So I think honestly this is the best that we're going to get with timer blocks. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration of how that looks. So also what I did is I went ahead and I turned around all of the windows as well. So it's a little bit hard to see, but with this 1x2 slope here, previously before I switched the windows around, there was a bit that was kind of sticking out from here, because I don't think these windows are intended to have the tinted side on the inside. So now that portion of the window sits right here, so there's less of that scraping. It's more just like this, yeah, just this corner here. So yeah, there's not really too much I can do about it, and like I said, I'm getting a little bit tired of messing around with this thing and trying to get it absolutely perfect. So I mean, it's, I don't know, probably about 90% perfect. But, you know, considering we're using timer blocks, I think that's about as good as we're going to get. And we still got this little jolty action happening when we get to the third floor, but, or in fact, when we get to any floor. So, yeah, I don't think there's really too much I can do about that. But anyway, so let's go ahead and let's get started with this third floor. But before I do, I thought I would show you guys something interesting. So you see how this air vent here is yellow, right? Now, I was kind of wondering why this air vent wasn't pressurizing this entire elevator shaft, because I mean technically the elevator shaft is fully sealed, so you would kind of think that this air vent would pressurize everything, right? Well, turns out it doesn't work on subgrids. So what I've done at the very bottom of the elevator shaft, and I can't remember if I've shown this before or not, but I've placed 3 air vents here, and you can see that they're all green. So this entire elevator shaft is actually pressurized. But the problem is that when an air vent is attached to a subgrid, then it's not going to work. It's not going to pressurize the entire elevator shaft because, again, it's a subgrid. So yeah, I mean, what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll place this block in, and then you'll see that it is now pressurized because this is its own grid. So yeah, I thought that was a little bit interesting, and I didn't know that before. So, but yeah, I guess now I know it now. So, all right, what I need to do from here is I need to go ahead and basically build an airlock on the end of this door here. So as you can see, we're just looking at a rock wall at the moment. So I basically just need to get in there and drill all of this stuff out. And you can see obviously there's a little bit of a gap here, but my character can't fall through it. So yeah, I got to be honest, I don't know if it was even worth doing these blast door blocks, but I ended up just bringing the weld ship through, cutting a big hole in the wall, and then, you know, it only took me about 15-20 minutes to get it done anyway, so I guess it wasn't a gargantuan waste of time, but yeah, oh well, you get that. So alright, so where to begin? So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna push my template for the airlock through here. But what I need to do though, I think, is I'm going to grind a hole into the elevator once more, just so that I can get in and out of it. I will put it down to the first floor, and then what I'll do is I'll place a projector probably on that side of the wall, and then kind of project that blueprint through, and then we can kind of access it that way. So what I'll do though is I'll go into here and actually withdraw the materials for the projector. So that should be enough, and then we'll go back into the elevator shaft, and let's go ahead and let's place this projector block. I think for safety, maybe what I'll do is I'll place it right at the top over here. So just in case I do accidentally call the elevator to floor number 2, it doesn't actually hit this. So we'll place that there, and then I just need to access a control panel to actually action that projector. So what can we... Oh, I took my helmet off. How much fuel have I got? Oh, I've got plenty of fuel. Alright, cool. So let's find our projector, and I don't know which one it is. It must be this one, so we'll name this one elevator shaft, and then we'll find our blueprint. Honestly, I can't remember which blueprint it is, so I'll find the blueprint and I'll project it through, and then you know what, I might even just drill the whole lot out, and then once we're at that stage, then, you know, I'll start it up again, I'll start the recording again, and then we can kind of go from there. So I will see you guys in a moment. Okay, so here we are. I've drilled out this little space here for the airlock that is going to be on the 3rd floor. Yeah, you guys probably saw this already, and I just haven't really noticed it, or just, yeah, kind of forgot about it. But as you can see, like, there's this little gap here between this door and where this block would kind of finally end up for this airlock. So what is interesting though is, I'm not sure why, but it seems like these blast door blocks, even though there is a gap here, they are still airtight. So I'm really not sure about this, if I should get rid of this block and then for each floor just have like 3 blocks here on the floor, or just like maybe 1 block here, just so that it's kind of looks a little bit better when you're kind of walking through it. So I'm not sure if I want to do that or not, but I guess it's not really a big deal. So, but first what I need to do is go ahead and lay out the floor for this airlock. So we'll quickly go ahead and do that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this needs to be about 8 blocks long. So it's an additional, like, the regular airlock in itself is about 7 blocks long. But because we have that additional 1 block to cater for the small grid door, or the small door rather than the large gate, then we obviously need to make it 8 blocks. So I'll go ahead and I'll lay out the floor, and I'll get that welded up, and then we can start worrying about the walls and everything like that. And again, I've tried to make the walls as straight as possible so that we can place our windows in and make everything look rather pretty. So yeah, still not sure about this part here. I'm worried that if I just put regular armor blocks in there, the elevator's just gonna like collide into it. So yeah, maybe it was a bad idea using those blast door blocks in the first place. Maybe I should have just stuck with what I had before and just kind of dealt with it. So I don't know. Yeah, it's all yeah. But anyway, I'll get this welded up and I'll see you after that. Alright, cool. So that is the floor done. So now we can start placing down all of the other blocks. Do I have anything that is of the light grey colour? No, I don't. So that means I'm going to have to go all the way downstairs to grab the colour sample from this airlock here. So let's see, let's just check out this design a little bit. So I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks there. Okay, I think the rest of it I can kind of memorize, but let's see how I go with that. Alright, so let's go all the way up here and let's start getting this thing laid out. Now, one thing I've been kind of thinking about at this point in time is that, well, I don't really have a conveyor system up here, and it is getting quite frustrating having to go up and down every 5 seconds to go to the cargo container in the middle of the elevator shaft to basically pick up materials. So I think that's definitely going to have to be something that I'm going to have to rectify very shortly. So I think the next time I run out of steel plates, I'm probably going to do something about that. So I believe this block was this one here. So we've got this one, then we've got this one here, and then another one of those, another one, and then one of these here again, but on the other side. And then we've got another whole bunch of light armor blocks here. And these ones I am going to have to weld up because I'm going to be placing blocks in front of these. So, yeah, I think I need to really run some conveyor systems because getting up and down from here is getting really laborious, and it's, yeah, it would be immensely handy to actually have a cargo container here that I can access. So, I think what I'll do is I'll probably go from, whereabouts should I go from? I think I may just go straight down here. Okay, cool. So I've finally broken through to the other hallway. So from here, I just need to kind of follow this all the way back. And if you guys remember, I never actually went ahead and placed an air vent in the second or the first story hallway. So I'm going to have to run a pipe from this conveyor junction all the way to about here where my second or my first floor, wait, whereabouts are we? I believe this is the middle here. So yeah, I'm going to have to place an air vent there with a conveyor junction on the end of that, and then run the pipe all the way through here and then up this wall here, and then I'm basically just going to place a cargo container here temporarily. And even though I don't think it's really necessary, because I don't know if I'm really going to have any sort of cargo system going towards the control tower, I'm going to put the pipes in the floor anyway. And then I'll probably go around and then up, and then I'll place another pipe on top so that I have all of my air vents as well. So the thing is as well, I don't know if I'm going to place another airlock at the end of the hallway that will be at the end of this airlock, if that makes sense. So I think this will be the only airlock on this level, and then after that will just be an open hallway leading directly to the control tower. So, alright, well, it seems like I have a lot of tunnel shuffle to do, so once I've laid out all these pipes, I'll be back after that. Alright guys, well I'm back, and as you can see I've finally put the cargo container in here, so this is all hooked up to the rest of the system. So now all I need to do is go ahead and actually finish up this room. So what I'll do first though is I'll weld up all of these blocks, and then I believe what I need to do from this point is place down some of these ones. So we've got this one here, then from there we've got just the tip, and then behind that is going to sit my window. So what I'll do is I'll do the same thing on this side. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same as all the other ones that I've done, although yeah, basically just up here I guess. So we'll place this block here, and then I believe it is this block here. And then we have this one, which goes like that. And then we have this one here. And I believe there is 3 of these, if I can get the block to go the way that I want. And then there's this one again. And then we have our tip. Wait, is it 3 blocks? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 3 blocks. So I might actually have to make this a little bit longer. In fact, no, I think I should still be able to get away with this. So place that one there, and then we place one of these tips down here, like that. But what I'll do though is I'll add blocks here, just so that it looks more solid when you're looking through the window. So it's not necessary to make it airtight, but it kind of makes me feel better them being there, if that makes sense. So quickly just weld these ones up on either side. Okay, so that's all those blocks done. So now I will start doing the roof. So I believe the roof is made of this block here, and then we place that one there, and then from there we have about 2 half blocks. So if I go to my half block, we've got, no, not 2 of them, 5 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have another one of these blocks here. And then in the middle there, that's where the air vent is going to sit. So then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll place in these blocks here. So we have one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here, 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 and here. And then from there, obviously, we've just got our 2x1 tips, and put in 4 of those. Spin this around, place in those there, and then from there we have our roof, which will just be made of solid blocks. So I'll place them here just so that it's like fully airtight. Even if you just get the corners of the blocks placed, like you don't necessarily need to have a full block next to it. So if you have the corner of 2 blocks touching, then that's enough to actually make it airtight. You wouldn't think it would be, but it actually is. So let's go back up here. Let's weld these 4 blocks up, or these 8, I should say. Okay, so those 8 are done. So then we'll just go ahead and we'll place in the roof, which will be these blocks here, and then from there we can place in all of our lights. And I believe that this block here was this one. I can't remember what color these are. Actually, I might just quickly go downstairs and just figure out exactly what color they are. I'm pretty sure they're dark grey, but I honestly can't remember. You think I would remember because I've built this thing enough times? Yeah, okay. Alright, so they are dark grey. I thought they were. Alright, so let's go ahead and place in all of those blocks. And yeah, it's like I said, it's exactly the same as all the other rooms. So what I'll probably do though is I'm probably going to finish the rest of the room off camera, because obviously you've seen me build this so many times, it's a little bit boring. And then from there, what I need to figure out is basically how long the hallway is going to be. And as I said before, I'm not going to place another airlock at the end. So at the end of this airlock is going to be another hallway very similar to the other ones, except it'll just be purely windows. It won't be any rooms leading off the side of it because I don't think I've got the space to do so. And I don't really want to as well. So yeah, I'm going to do that. And then on the end of that hallway is going to be nothing. So I'm not going to have another airlock, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'll see you in a second once this is all completed. Alright guys, well here we are and the airlock is now completed. I just need to put in the air vent, but there is kind of one more thing I want to do to the elevator. Well, not really the elevator itself, but more so these doors here. So somebody in the comments pointed out something that was, yeah, kind of probably a good idea. So basically they said that having this door open all the time, like so, if we go down to this floor here, and then we have a look at this door, you can see that it's permanently open when the elevator is at that floor. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the sensor that sits on the wall, and I'm actually going to move it to underneath the door so that the door remains closed but is basically so what we'll do is we'll grind out this block here and then we will drill a hole here, and this should be sitting directly underneath that sensor, or that door, sorry. So what I'm going to do, right, is basically make that door only open and close when I get near it. So what we'll do is we will find our sensor here, and I think what I'll do is I'll actually place it on the... See, if I place it on this wall here, then the sensor will kind of activate past where the door is, if that makes sense. Or will it? Hang on. Actually, let's have a look at this, where this door is actually located. Oh yeah, okay, so I can put it on the edge of that conveyor block there. Wait, no, I don't think I can. Hang on, let's have a look at this. Oh, okay, yeah, so the door sits on this block here. So what I want to probably do is place the sensor here. So we'll place it there. And what I'll do is I'll set the sensor's field of range. So let's go to info, show sensors field of range. Go to this one and turn that off because that's very annoying. Show on HUD, that's the one that I want. So left extent 1.25, right extent 1.25. The bottom extent, which is that way, I probably want that to be 0.1. The top extent, I probably want that to be about 6.25, I think. Well, wait, no, so I want half a block plus a full block, so that's 3.25. And then the back extent, I want that to go 2 full blocks, which is 5 meters, and the front extent I want that to go 0.0 or 0 meters. So we'll go, no, I can only go 0.1, that's right. So that sensor should be, yeah, that's pretty much where I want it. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll find the name of this door. So now also what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename all of these floors. So this is going to be the second floor. Then we're going to have the first floor, and then we're going to have the third floor. Because I'm getting confused with this, all this nonsense. Actually, let's name that the first for now, and then we'll work our way down so that I don't extra confuse myself. So I'll leave it all named what it is now. But maybe what we'll do is let's find the second actually. So let's change this to third. Alright, so I'll go away and I'll change all this stuff, and then I'll set the sensor to open and close this door, and then I'll be back after that. Alright, well I've gone ahead and I've set up this door to open and close when I get near it. So basically what will happen is once we get through, then it will go ahead and it will close. I might adjust the sensor's field of range just a little bit, but now what should happen is when I tell the elevator to go to, let's say if I tell, in fact, so I need to activate the second timer block here. How am I going to do this? Alright, so no, I need a control panel that's away from that elevator door. So let's find a control panel here. Let's find our, let's say, second floor. Timer block second, and no, sorry, it's third now because I've changed it. Of course. What am I doing? Third. So timer block third. Door disable, third delay. So it should be this one. So if I hit start, then it should go to the third floor. But it doesn't. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Oh, yeah, I hit start, didn't I? I didn't hit trigger now. Okay, cool. So the door is disabled and it doesn't open. Alright, cool. So what we'll do is I'll give it like 10 seconds and then I'll call the elevator back down. And then we will call... Yeah. And then this door should basically activate, but not automatically open, so that the airlock sort of still does serve a function, because that was... basically the idea, like if this door was permanently open, then it kind of defies the purpose of even having this this kind of a setup anyway. So alright, and there's the elevator there, and now we can walk into it. Alright, cool. So it didn't crash into anything, so mission accomplished. Alright, well I'm going to change this exact same setup to every sensor. Oh, I've still got this sensor's field of range showing. And it's still got the sound. Alright, yeah. So I'm going to change every floor to be the exact same setup. I may disable the door for slightly longer. But yeah, we'll see how we go with that. So I'll see you guys once that is done. And then we can finally go ahead and start thinking about the hallway for the third floor. Alright guys, welcome back. So I'm down on the second floor at the moment, because yeah, if you guys remember, I renamed them first, second and third. So yeah, I'm on the second floor at the moment. I've gone ahead, I've changed all the sensors, I've removed them from the back wall, I've placed them under the doors, so now obviously the doors kind of open as you walk through them, which is very nice. Also, what I went ahead and done was I did actually go ahead and replace the blocks around here with just regular armor blocks, because it just, yeah, it was kind of bugging me when you were walking through the elevator that there was like that massive gap. Even though it was airtight and it really wasn't causing any issues, I still kind of like this a little bit better. It's just a little bit neater and a little bit cleaner. The other thing that I've gone ahead and done is I've adjusted the timer block to get up to the second floor, so or to the third floor. So if we go to the first floor, you know, if you guys remember, there was like all of a sudden speed change probably about midway up, and it would shoot up to about 9 meters per second, and then it would go back down to 4.5. So I adjusted that timer block, and I'm pretty sure I got it dialed in pretty perfectly. So if we press the third floor, then it should pretty much remain at the same speed, and it will kind of speed up a little bit, but not too much. So you can kind of see it. Yeah, it kind of jolts a little bit there, but there's not really too much I can do about that. I think the only way I'd be able to get it fully perfect is to use a script to do that, but maybe I'll do that a bit later on. So, alright, without further ado, let's go ahead And let's go and start thinking about this hallway. So what I need to do from here is I need to kind of figure out exactly how long this hallway is before I reach the end of the mountain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a projector here. So we'll grab the materials for that, and we will weld that up. Oh yeah, one other thing I kind of forgot to mention. So if you kind of notice, the conveyor junction kind of sits at this point here, underneath these catwalks. Now, in order to fit the sensor in, I had to move all of those back by 1 block on the end of this this airlock that leads to the elevator shaft. It's not exactly symmetrical, but I figure, you know, it was much easier doing that than having to bury the sensor like 2 or 3 blocks deep. So yeah, I adjusted that on every single floor. It turns out that I built the 2nd floor and the 3rd floor different to the 1st floor. So I just went ahead and I changed the 1st floor because I thought that was just the easier way to go. So what I'm going to do with this projector now is, if you guys remember, I created a whole line of blocks. So that would be this blueprint here. So we'll go drill guide, and it was the one that was 99 blocks long. So yeah, this one here. So this is 99 blocks. So what I'm going to do is we'll set up this projector here. So let's find the projector. So I dare say it's this one. So we'll call this projector 3rd floor, I guess. We'll find our blueprints, then we'll grab the drill guide test, I believe it was called. We'll grab that, and which way is this orientated? Okay, so I want to orientate that the other way, so let's find our projector again. Let's change the pitch to 90 degrees. No, we want plus 90 degrees, and I probably want to set it forward by 1 block. No, by 1. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head on outside, and I'm going to count the amount of blocks that are sticking out of the mountain, and that will tell me how many blocks worth of space I've got inside the mountain. So obviously this will be our 1st block. Well, actually, maybe I should make it 1 block further in, because then that would be the start of the next room. I may actually do that. Let's find the projector again. 3rd floor, and then we will make this projector here forward offset 2. Okay, so let's head on down to the 2nd floor so that we can exit. And then we'll go out the front and we will check this out. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with this elevator. It's it's pretty well dialed in for an elevator that's only run by timer blocks. There's a little bit of clang going on, but it's not too bad. I need to go ahead and finish all these sensors for all the other doors as well. There's so many doors within the base that aren't controlled by sensors, and I really need to get around to doing that. So maybe I'll do that in between the last episode, or in between this episode and the next episode. So right, well, all I need to do now is basically count the amount of blocks that are kind of protruding from here, subtract that from 99, and that will kind of tell me how many blocks I've got left here. So I'll quickly go ahead and I'll do that, and we'll go from there. Okay, so it looks like we have about 50 blocks if I include this one here. So yeah, there's basically, oh no, I think the block behind this one. But the other thing I've got to kind of consider is the fact that the hallway would probably be about, I don't know, let's say about that tall. So I don't really want the top of the hallway sticking through the end of the mountain. So, I mean, maybe conservatively I can say that it's like 50 blocks. So I'd have to make a hallway that's about 50 blocks. So to be perfectly honest with you, I could probably make a hallway and another airlock and still have enough room to do what else I want to do. So the other thing that I kind of want to do is I want to basically grab some stairs, and then maybe inside the mountain I can have some stairs like this. Let me just withdraw components for these stairs actually. And maybe we'll have like a little compact kind of a hallway that will go up by, you know, a few more blocks. So I guess maybe we could go 1 and then 2. So let's place in some stairs and see how much. I reckon I could maybe get away with like 10 blocks or something like that. So that would be 5 sets of these stairs. So let's see what this kind of looks like and what level that. Well, if it gets us 5 sets of stairs, then that ends up being another 5 blocks on top of this platform here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So that would mean that the control tower would kind of be at this height. So I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to figure out exactly how long I want this hallway to be. And then I'm probably going to place in another airlock, I reckon. I wasn't originally planning to do so, but since I've got so much room inside this mountain, I may as well do that. And that's 50 blocks behind the other airlocks. So I mean, yeah, like I said before, that hallway is going to be pretty massive. So yeah, all right, well I'm going to go away and I'm going to figure out exactly how long I want this thing to be, and once I've done that I'll come back and then we can kind of figure out a game plan and start thinking about how this thing's going to look. Alright, so I've done a little bit of calculations and I think I've come up with a kind of, yeah, a solution to my problems. So if I basically copy the hallway that sits behind this here hangar, and then the airlock in front of that, then that basically leaves me with about 20 blocks or about 19 blocks left over. So then I think after that what I will do is I will create a hallway that goes up by either 6 or 7 sets of these stairs, which will probably put me about here. So this will probably be the finished height of the control tower. So I think it's reasonably high enough. I would maybe like it to be a little bit higher, but then I'm kind of getting into this territory here, which is not really going to be very good to build with. So I think this is a decent level. Yeah, and it's not gonna, well, it will leave me a little bit of room to kind of build with, and I think that's going to be probably the best level that I can get away with. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to make the hallway and the airlock the exact same, well, the hallway the exact same size as the hallway at the back of the hangar, and then there'll be another airlock in front of that, and then from there will be a tiny cramped hallway, probably about 3 blocks wide and about 1 block tall, that goes up through the mountain and then will take me about to like this point here, but obviously like further back by about, you know, I don't know, like 5 or 6 blocks. So yeah, I think that's going to be the ideal scenario. And yeah, so what I'm going to start doing though is drilling out all this stuff and getting ready to actually get this this hallway done, and then the airlock done, and then finally after that we can make a start on the control tower itself. So I think I'm going to go away and get this hallway done and also the airlock, because I mean, you guys have seen me build the exact same hallway and the exact same airlock so many times before, so I won't bore you with that process. But yeah, after I've done that, then what we'll do is we'll go through the little cramped hallway with all the stairs that goes up by about 7 blocks, and yeah, so we'll go to that point there, and I'll show you the design that I've kind of come up with for that. It's going to be very similar to a design that I used in my asteroid base. So I don't know if you guys have all seen that video, but if you haven't, then check it out. It's on my channel somewhere. Maybe I'll put a link to that video in the description of this video so you can check it out. And then yeah, so alright guys, I will see you in a moment. Alrighty guys, welcome back. So as you can see, the hallway is now completely done. This first airlock was already done. This hallway here is also done. So everything is done and everything is looking pretty sweet. Now it probably took me a good 2.5 to maybe 3 hours to actually do all of this. I kind of forgot how much work was involved in actually drilling all this stuff out. Not only that, building the hallway itself and then putting in the lights, then putting in the pipes, and then doing all these interior walls. For some reason, even though interior walls don't have as many components in them and they're like lighter than regular steel blocks, they're actually a lot more difficult to get welded up, just because you can only probably weld about 7 or 8 of them at a time. Well, at least I can with my current settings. So obviously what we've got here is we've got the end of the airlock. So this is where the stairwell is going to begin. So I will quickly show you a kind of a design that I've used before, but I'm going to kind of reuse that design. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill straight through here, and then what I'll do from there as well. So I just realized that there was a block there that's not welded up. What is that? Is that an interior wall? Yeah, it is. All right. And obviously I've placed a cargo container here to make my life a little bit easier. So let's grab some materials for that. So I need probably 2 of those, and then I need a whole bunch of steel plates as well. So let's grab a whole bunch of those. And then also what I need is a set of stairs. So do I have enough inventory space? Yes, I do. Fantastic. Also, another thing that I thought about doing was adding these floor numbers so you actually know which floor you're on. Not sure if I'm really liking it just yet. I don't know if I really like the way it is, but I could go ahead and place LCDs here, but they cost 50 PCU, and as it is, I've already gone pretty crazy with the PCU in this base, so I don't really know if I want to push it by putting a whole bunch of LCDs everywhere on top of everything that I've already done. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and place a interior wall here. So I'll make it this color, and we will place it down here. I will use my local grid alignment for that, even though it does cause a few issues. Then we will drill here, and I guess from this point onwards I can just go ahead and use steel blocks. So use my local grid alignment once more, and then from here I will place in a set of stairs. And it will look something like that. Quickly weld these up, and then we'll drill this out. So we'll just continue to drill this out until we get to the top of these stairs. Right, so the design I'm going to go for is something like this. I'm thinking maybe what we'll do is, and like I said, this design is very similar to the last design that I made in my asteroid base. So if you guys have ever seen that, then you'll kind of know what I'm about to do. So what we'll do though is I'll place a block here, a block there, and a block there. We'll weld these up. Weld that up too, that one, and also that one. And I'll clear out these voxels because we need to get rid of those. And do the same on this side. And then what we'll do from there is we will place, I guess, just some regular steel blocks from back here. So probably place that one there, although I should probably weld those up. And then we'll do the same on this side. And then from here, this is basically going to be where my wall is. So there'll be kind of a wall there. And then we'll just quickly weld these up too. Cool, so they're welded up. I'm not really going to worry too much about the roof at the moment, but yeah, we'll kind of build on from this. So then, well, actually, you know what? These walls need to be this light grey colour, so we'll make those walls the light grey, and we'll do the same over this side as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have these blocks here like this. So we're going to have those there. And then on top of that, we are going to have a block that goes like this and like this. And then on top of that, we will have another one of these blocks, the 2x1 bases. So we'll have a 2x1 base that goes like that. And then let's just weld these up and see how that looks. Cool, so that's those done. And then in here, in fact, I might get rid of these two and just drill this out so that it looks better. So let's drill these parts out here. Right, cool. Now let's put those blocks back. One there, weld those up. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to place a block like this in the same kind of orientation, but it shall be this color here. No, I think I've messed this up somehow. Let me think about this a bit more. I think I need to go like that, but hang on. Yeah, I think I've messed this up. Alright, let me think about this for a second and I'll be back. Yeah, so I had actually messed it up. So basically, I needed to move this block back to this point here, and then everything kind of would have been hunky-dory from that point. So then what we'll have here is just a blank space. So I need to drill this part out here, and then the same on this side. And then behind this, we need to place in two blocks that go like that, and we will weld those up. And we will do the same on this side as well. So we'll place two blocks there. And then what we will do is get rid of this and clean this up a little bit if my drill decides to cooperate a bit. And then what we'll do is we will place a corner light basically there. Wait, hang on. Where is my corner light? There we go. So we will place a corner light there, except I need to drill this part out even more.
Energy low.
And then yeah, that's basically how it's going to look, except I kind of wanted this roof to be a little bit flatter so that I could make a nice little tunnel out of that. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this time around. So maybe that's what we'll do, is we'll just kind of make it that high. And I will kind of show you what I mean in a second by that. So yeah, we'll kind of have to play around with that a little bit. So what we'll do is I'll leave those for now. And then I'll drill out a little bit more. That drill rising is so annoying. Please, Kane, please fix that. It's very annoying. Alright, then we'll place another block here and another one here as well. And then this should allow us to place in yet another block. And then this block here will need to be this color. And same here. Place those down. And then we're basically just going to repeat this pattern again. So then what we'll do is we will have one of these blocks here, and it will be this color. So hang on, this color. I'll place that there, and then we will go ahead and we will place it there on this side. What do you mean no steel plates? I haven't even used that many. Right, let's withdraw all of those. And then we'll place another one there. Weld these two up. And then this block here will go like that, and then like that, and then we'll place a tip in front of that. Very similar to that. And that's pretty much that. So then we weld these up. And we make these orange. So let's find our little corner lights. So we'll go corner, light, and then let's make these 170 by 100. Not 1100, 100. And then we will change the radius of these to, let's say, 6 meters.
Energy critical.
Set the intensity to 1.2, fall off to 2.0, offset to 0, and then let's see how that looks. Yeah, so that doesn't look too bad. So basically we will have this kind of repeating pattern that goes all the way up to the control tower. Now I don't... Oh yeah, I need to place some lights in here as well to kind of make that look the same. Now, like I said before, what I may do is I might place in one of these and one of these here, except I can't really do that. Maybe what I can do is grab some of these new plates that they've added into the game, and we can place some of those here, because usually what I would do in my asteroid base is I'd have a window here, but I kind of want the rocks showing through the roof. Again, exactly the same as how I've done it before. But maybe we can change up these blocks a little bit later on for something else, since Keen have added a whole bunch of new blocks since the Wasteland update, I think it was. Which block am I looking for? Alright, it's these ones. Hang on, where's the fully flat one? Yeah, there we go. So that one there. And then, do we spin that around? Wait, 211 slope base. Hang on. Why won't this go the way that I want it to? Ah, there we go. Yeah, so maybe I'll just place those two there for now, like that. And then, yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. Maybe I could change the color of those to like light gray. Yeah, because most... You know what? I think I will. I think I'll change the color of these to light grey. So we'll change it to that color there. And yeah, I think that's looking pretty sweet. Not too bad. Very slick. So I think what I'll do is I'll go away and I'll kind of repeat this step a couple more times. I'm not going to finish this entire... this entire little hallway that goes to the control room, because it's going to be quite a lot of work, and I've already put in massive amounts of work in this episode already, so I'm not really keen to sit here for another couple of hours and do yeah, like the rest of this entire thing. So let's change this color. Alright, so I'll be back once I've maybe put in about, you know, 2 or 3 stairs, and then we'll see how we go from there. Alright, well, I have completed about 3 of these stairs, and I think there is going to be about 7 of these, but yeah, as you can see, this is pretty much how it's going to look. So in here, obviously, we have our first level. I've gone ahead and I've replaced these square blocks with these 2x1 bases so that it kind of tapers out a little bit. Also, what I went ahead and done is I replaced these blocks here with the 2x1 tips and bases. Up there, I just put some regular blocks because there was this big gaping hole there and it was kind of looking pretty sad. So, and then obviously at each interval we have our orange lights. And yeah, that's basically going to be our stairwell that will take us to the top of the control tower. Now, I don't know if it, you know, because like when you come through this area, these hallways are quite wide. And when you come into this hallway here, it's quite claustrophobic. So I don't know if I want to expand this out, so like make it so that maybe these pillars here go one more block over, or if I just kind of want to leave it the way it is. So yeah, I'm not really sure about that. This is basically the way that I designed it before, but I guess I'll have to kind of figure that out in the next episode. Because, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this episode. Oh, and yeah, as you can see, this is how the windows are going to look. So we've got our windows, and above that you can kind of see our stone walls. There is a little bit of a gap on the side here, but it's not the biggest gap, and it's not really that noticeable. So I think I'm just pretty happy to leave it like the way it is. So yeah, but anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Wasteland Survival, and I hope to see you in the next episode. If you like this episode and you like my content, then definitely consider leaving a like. It really helps me out. And then, yeah, definitely consider subscribing so that you don't miss any other episodes. Alright guys, I will see you next time.